October. One, the Carey Building, 105 Chambers Street. Want to start it up?
And if you're not familiar with the owls, you must speak directly to the owls, not to us.
I'm not familiar with it, but I will try to remember that.
Thank you.
I like existing buildings, old technology. Anyway, my name is Lauren Stahl from Reengineering. Why we're here is we're asking for approval to use alternate material to repair and replace whatever's needed at the Carey Building. So hopefully, can we do the next slide? So as you can see on this, do you call it a sheet or presentation board? It's in the Tribeca Historic District. And on the right is the original sketch illustration of what they wanted, King and Pelham want for the building. And in the middle are two photographs of the north and south designation photographs from the 1982. And on the right, that looks to the left, is a 1940 tax photo. And please ask questions of any way. So the next slide, please. This is what is the existing conditions today.
Here you go.
There you go.
It's very.
So the south elevation on the left is cast iron, done by B&B Badger. If you want me to go more history about the building, I figured good. So what we're hoping to do on this building is replacement and repair of the cast iron that has deteriorated, eroded, bent, kind of stuff. The middle is the masonry facade where we're doing brick replacement and masonry repair. And on the right is the north elevation, similar to the south, and the same kind of work we want to do. Just also one next page, please. So this is one thing at this time. We've only been doing visual inspection from the street. We're hoping when we get a chance, we'll get close up and personal. So, anyway, so to the left, a little closer.
It's just a thing that.
On the left is the southeast corner of the building, and you can see the big missing piece of cast iron that fell off. That's one of the big things that we're going to be addressing with replacement.
It fell off recent?
It was
No.
about, yeah,
20 years ago.
no, that actually came off not too long ago. It's like 2021,
Wow.
2022, early
Yeah, that's right.
2022. And we had to do an emergency, call up the shed company and the contractor just had to remove whatever is hanging in.
Okay,
And then they also did some waterproofing membrane to help.
just, great, keep going.
So you can see, just one second. Okay, so the corners are pretty much need spray prime painting. Also missing pieces. And we can actually go back to the tax photo and those straps are still there all the way back then. And next, please. So the next two photos are the north and south facades, what we saw from the street, the condition. So we have cast iron, a lot of cast iron elements that are corroded, rusting, or bent, or have holes, or standard cast iron deterioration issues. We are definitely planning to try to maintain and keep as much of the historic material as possible. But as we say, there's some pieces that need to be replaced, and we would like permission to use alternate material, specifically fiberglass and 3D printing.
All right?
You heard.
Yep.
Fiberglass and 3D printing.
Oh, I'm, okay, thank you.
If you can go to the next. Because actually, here it is. So this is the other elevation.
Oh,
Okay, so that's both elevations get this, this
It's
treatment.
treatment, yep, it's as needed.
What happens to the rest of the building? Does it get painted and scraped and
Yes.
looking beautiful entirely? Like it's gonna
Yes.
be a whole redo?
We are basing the repairs on the 1940s,
But once it's all repaired, it'll be all scraped and painted?
yes, and that is one, as you can see, bottom right corner.
Oh, you did a paint analysis?
No, actually, this is from a previous repair that Landmark approved, hired from Benjamin Moore.
And they did a paint analysis?
Yes.
we hope so.
I don't think we did, but anyway.
And the, trying to match the best, sealant, we were looking at master sealant P, block to go with it.
Mhm.
And fiberglass, it's lighter, it's more versatile, it's less expensive, and it's compatible with cast iron.
Have you done this in other buildings? Like this? Have you tested it out?
No, but if you go to the next, it has been tested.
So it has been tested. You haven't tested. Okay.
So,
Okay, cool.
let's go down a little bit. Okay, these are projects that have been approved by FEC as where they have used fiberglass as alternative material and used printing to create the details. The photo of the building above is literally right next door
Yeah.
to the building.
Right.
And they.
That does look good. I will admit, it looks very, very good what they did there. What's your lifespan?
Actually, for fiberglass, it's not, almost not gonna be weathered unless you actually have somebody, you know, so, yeah, or you have like earthquake vibration, that kind of thing.
Or
but
something
the-
comes flying
the
at it, and
natural-
hits it hard.
Not weathering, no.
It has a lifespan, right?
You know this building, right? This gray one?
It's like, it's gonna be in the
That
land.
one in the middle?
Yeah.
It's super fancy building.
Yeah.
That turned out gorgeous.
We're not, we can do the real thing.
Can we though?
Yes.
Well, I can't, but, I mean, can they?
Yeah. Well, they can, it's money.
But then we just write something that says negatory because of that and it just gets tossed in the,
In the garbage,
We-
but Landmarks is gonna prove it.
anyway, okay, so that's it.
No,
That's the
well,
end of the-
When I hear the
Well, again, I mean,
The last
you're
slide
doing an
is-
amazing job
Yeah.
in another material.
Right.
Which will be sculpted and crisp, every corner will be crisp in it, it'll be. Okay, does anyone want to talk about this? Thank you.
Jerry.
Terrific.
Why are you looking at me? When did I become?
You too. Well, we already know.
Any other questions for me? Or is it?
No, nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you anticipate after this campaign that less of this will have to be done because you'll get the rest of it to a nice kind of state? You know, like, we don't want to have you do all this, do these like, you know, what amounts to like 1% replacement or less, and then come back and do another 1%, and then do another 1% until there's nothing left that's original. That's what I worry about. I mean, I don't, you know,
My goal is to maintain as best as possible the historic material. I love preservation. My work first started in Central Park, cast iron, so it's.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you came to this conclusion? I mean, this fiberglass on this like incredibly beautiful, expensive building.
We decided, because we were asked to look into other possibilities because of time, because cast iron can take a while, cost. The usual type of things.
It's always cost. You don't need to
And
ask.
so,
Beautiful building in New York.
how to put it back structurally, you know, cast iron is really, really heavy. So your building itself, it has already got deterioration. So you got this very heavy stuff to be anchored onto the existing building, which has already got some deterioration. So you gotta really remove all of the things that is, it's deteriorated. Get to the sound part. So, that will actually, you know, you will have to do more work and remove more, of the area and cost, of course.
You know what my answer is? Don't buy a historical building.
That is,
You know, you almost said it, it's a constant. And I think Jason's point is not off target. That this is the beginning and then it's more and it's more and it's more because now it's too heavy and now it's this and now we can't do that. And then we've lost the building in essence. That's a piece of it. I mean, you know, we're not obstructionists. We just try to look at the totality of it in some way.
And also at this time, we want to, you know, like get the loose material out and then do another coating. So it's gonna give it longer life.
Appreciate the innovation of the new material, because it does sort of defeat the purpose of a cast iron building.
I'm sorry,
It sort of defeats the purpose of having a cast iron building when you're not doing cast iron.
Thank you.
But I mean, I do appreciate the nature of this.
I mean, there are people who are still doing this cast iron.
Yes,
We
to
just,
approve them.
right, I mean,
Well, they don't come here.
we just
Yeah,
did it on
they
the
don't.
whole building
Yeah,
last year,
yeah.
so,
You better not have.
how many of these
I
capitals
don't.
are needing to be replaced?
not a
not
lot.
many.
How many?
We can't tell because this was from street inspection. That's been the problem.
We don't want to tell you two and then it turns
Turns
out
out
to
to
be
be
more than that.
Yeah.
And
And why didn't you do a scaffold to take a look?
the building.
That costs too.
Yeah, the building.
You have to put up all
But I
the
know it
scaffolding
costs
and
like scaffold the whole building.
it will,
You're talking to a fully fledged, experienced, like professional, so I'm not asking questions. I don't know the answer to. Everything is here because of cost, Carol. Okay.
that's
That's fun.
my.
No, I'm sorry, not good.
Okay.
We see.
So 565 Broadway was.
Yeah, that's an old bank, that's great.
Yeah,
And all different materials it was used for. How does it look with that marble? They use it for the marble too?
It was for the marble.
Oh, those are marble, no, at the bottom there, is it marble columns that you replaced the capitals of? Like in the picture, it shows red highlight.
Yeah, would you?
What the green is for the, they replace the marble with the fiberglass.
Which page?
And the red is what?
No, it's marble. The red one is marble and green is the replacement of the marble.
With fiberglass.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I suggest that we take a vote, and, I think the resolution is that, we are not interested in supporting this because of its historical references and what it means in the context of city architecture. And, we don't think that, of course, in this case, should be the overriding factor.
How about durability?
Excuse me?
Durability.
Oh, no, it's fine. This cast iron's been here, what, what is this?
150 years.
There you go.
Oh, I don't know, 1850.
That's right.
Okay, I don't know, I mean,
Yeah, we all,
right, I'm kind of like right in the middle, you know, small building owner, and it's hard to keep these things up and get the things going, and this gray building is, if you told me, I didn't know that they use it for that, and that gray building, when I go and tell my clients how great their big building can look, I say, oh, go look at that amazing gray building, they did such a good job. So I'm kind of torn, just, you know.
well, there is always we can vote on,
Well, I'm okay writing a negative resolution, and I'll vote the other way, in other words. I'm not trying to put it forward.
We're explaining, right, we're explaining, so you just go to the landmarks, just saying, no, they too, you know, are professionals who understand the history and the implication. And we're saying that while we understand, we're sympathetic in this location,
The Carey building.
the Gary building, in architecture, this really needs
and
to have a
that
better.
we worry that.
That's right. It's
That it is a slippery slope and we worry that it's very hard then to maintain our focus.
And standard, yes, because a decade or so ago, when they did do the master plan for the signage around, all that was done was like 3/4 inch plywood. I mean, we're not talking, some out of borough, this is a significant piece of architecture and you need your obligation to look after it.
Okay, so, and then we,
Second.
okay.
Yeah, you have to see
I
if there's
just-
questions on
Any
it.
questions on, right, is anyone here that wants to speak in the room?
I do have another question.
Okay, yes,
which is,
ask the
What is the longevity of fiberglass?
Good question.
It's
Expected.
basically like,
How long
Purpose-
should
purpose-
grass last?
as I just explained, it's probably gonna just stay in the landfill forever, that kind of material, like plastic.
Yeah.
So it's not going to weather in nature, unless we have like, anything,
Unless you have a bomb.
a bomb,
Or a major,
or a major
earthquake.
earthquake or something.
Okay,
Otherwise, this is staying there. All you really have to do is repaint it to maintain it.
And we really want to preserve the majority of the grass island.
Yeah.
I see that, I do see that.
We do-
It does
we do
seem like
understand.
not a lot of stuff at one time. Okay, so, we're going to write a resolution that's not in favor of it and give some rationale. And then, I think that if you wanted to take advice, you should come to the full board meeting and in the public session, say why you think this is something you want to do. And then the whole board could vote on whether or not they think our negative resolution is in fact negative or positive. That's what I would do, but you don't have to do that.
I
So-
think you should.
Make your case one more time for your client or your clients in the building. But, so call the question.
Second.
So this is to vote it down?
This is gonna be a negative resolution with some rationale about why, because Vicky.
Can we bounce it back and forth?
Yes, you could do it. You can do this one, I'll do the other one. I mean, yes, I'll make the scaffolding for the resolution, but it's that,
Seconded.
I did.
Susan.
You and Susan,
Yep,
Jason? You're voting.
well, I am going to what's kind of not voting this time.
Abstain.
Abstain, yep.
Vicky,
Cameron, no.
no to vote it down. You're doing a
You're
vote.
voting yes.
I'm voting
Yes.
yes.
I don't know what
She's
you're
a yes.
voting.
I know.
We know she's a yes.
I know it.
She wrote it, she's right.
Yes.
Gerald,
Abstain.
Andrea,
Yes.
Derek,
I am also gonna abstain.
So we have a very mixed thing.
Yeah, so
Well,
that's-
that's very
everyone's
good.
gonna wonder why. So come and tell us why when we have our meeting on
Yeah.
October.
I think it doesn't carry because you have 3 and 3.
Yeah, I was gonna
What does that
say.
mean? So if I say yes tonight, it goes, so I'll say yes tonight, and then maybe I can change my.
Why aren't you voting?
He did, he abstained.
I did, I
And
abstained.
so did Sharon, they're in line.
We're favorites.
We all have man
Motion
brains.
carried
Thinking
to
the
table.
Abstain, we're here to
It's a,
Well, I'm
Vicky.
torn.
relax,
Yes, good. What do you, how you vote?
relax.
I know I'm the co-chair.
They're entitled, I know, but they're entitled.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks so much, yeah.
Thank you. So don't forget to come to the larger
Yeah.
meeting.
I'll send you the information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
But it's at the end of the month.
Yes.
I think it is.
going to be somewhat catered, as everybody knows, and one of the good news.
It's in here?
I think it's on the 22nd floor.
No,
The 19th floor. I
19.
was saying, might be small catering for everybody who attends.
President on the 19th floor.
I think
You
we
like-
can maybe stand,
Yes.
gather around, I can go to the other side.
Yeah, go to the other side of you.
So I have a USB or I can connect my laptop, whatever works.
Whatever the boss says. whatever
Yes.
See you.
he says.
We're going to wait 30 seconds when I
Good.
upload it.
There you go.
Well, let's do 70
Wow,
seconds.
We might be done by 7, guys. Oh, no? We do have a lot of people. What is this project?
32 Avenue of America.
I don't know this building. What could you possibly?
Do you have a-
Don't tell us about the history of the architect or how.
Any of it, we know it.
Okay.
Maybe tell you some things that
Fine. That's fair.
we haven't talked about.
Feel free to
Should we
stand.
whatever, word. Is there a way
Yeah.
for me to advance the slides, or would you
You
prefer
can sit
to?
over here.
Absolutely,
Awesome.
I'll come visit.
Does that work? And then we,
Want to come up here, Jared?
Yeah, I can go wherever.
we can also.
Come up here, then you're close.
I'll go see that seat and then.
That's okay, just one second, I did.
You could stand.
Because I. There you go.
Good standing.
Yeah.
So the quarter.
And I've had my.
Dressing sign here.
Would the owl pick me up?
Yes. I was wondering what you were talking about.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Just remember that. I want you mine. When you get a minute.
Actually, maybe while Mackenzie's pulling that up, do you want to give the introduction and then?
Yes, hi, thank you so much for meeting with us today about 32, which we know, as you are, we are also very passionate about this building. I'm Sevin Chuksal. I'm the head of design and construction at Rudin Management. My colleague Nick Martin is here, head of development at Rudin Management, so we're representing ownership. I did want to give a quick background on our company. Rudin is a multi-generational real estate company that's been around for almost 100 years, and we take pride in our dedication to our city and also in our long-term ownership of our buildings. 32 is a monumental building. You guys know about the history, so I'm going to skip through that, but it was predominantly the AT&T Telecom building for many years. It's actually happens to be the only commercial building in our portfolio that we didn't build. Rudin purchased this building in 99 after it was designated as a landmark building in 91. And I just wanted to point that out because we full-heartedly understand, respect, and also cherish the historical importance of this building. In the past, we have submitted and gotten approvals on a 2013 master plan for the storefront and also a lobby renovation in 2022.
Right.
The 2013 storefront master plan mainly focused on, at the time, it's going from a single tenant telecom building to a multi-tenant data/office building. And the storefront master plan included in the perimeter of the building about 40% of the storefront. At the time, the remaining portion of that perimeter was leased and used by different tenants. Since then, we now look at the building, we are 40% vacant. We had a major tenant vacate a few years back, iHeartRadio. They also took, they used to use quite a bit of that square footage on the ground floor. They had a theater, which we will talk about in later slides. So what we're trying to do here today is to, from the 2013 master plan, we've executed certain elements successfully, but we want to expand on that a little bit and really look at the building perimeter at the ground floor holistically for the entire perimeter. And we want to do targeted interventions to provide access to public. We want to, thinking about the commercial office market these days, everyone talks about amenitization of the buildings. We want it to be for this building, not an inward-facing amenity program, but really like street-facing, public-facing amenity program. So we're going to present a few options to, again, provide accessibility, welcome the community, while also providing flexibility for the future of this building. So I will pass now the presentation to Mackenzie Lockhart and Tim Rath from Marble Architecture and Julie Rosen from Higgins and Frisberg Preservations. Thank you.
Thank you, Smidge. My name is Tim Fried. I'm a partner at Marble. We're very fortunate to be the architects with Rudin, who are really our wonderful stewards and have been very careful in their deliberation for this building because they love it as much as we do. Our office, we've been before you many times before. We're in Tribeca on Hudson, and we now have a little storefront space on Lisbonard right across the street from this building, which we love, we cherish, we get it. Walker, big fans. Right? So we want to do right by the building. This project really started as an idea of how do we activate the base, right? Create, it's a very solid block of the building without a lot of windows. How do we activate it for pedestrians, for the community, for the neighborhood? How do we promote the identity that's Ralph Walker and Hildred Muir have given us? How do we improve the access? And how do we do so in a way that makes a flexible parameters for targeted interventions for tenants that are not yet here, which is why we are updating the 2013 master plan. The ground floor plan, this is just a diagram. This, the lobby cuts through 6th to Church. The existing is very solid. We want to make it more porous, add more color, like to the building, to the neighborhood with its interior uses. So that's the concept that we're after here. The best way we know to preserve a building is to have a strong economic engine to support it. The identity, I don't need to go into much detail here. You guys know the history. It's a rich one. We want to promote it and share it. The master plan extends. This is a ground floor plan, a little more detail now. The red dash line that goes along the southern edge, so on Walker, that is the extent of the 2013 master plan. So that was a very targeted effort for specific tenants at the time. What we're doing here is now looking holistically at all sides of the building. Also, excuse me, the northeast corner was also included in that 2013 master plan. And we are making some updates to that master plan, again, to improve retail and pedestrian experience. On the next slide, you'll see we're going to get into more renderings and design options and ideas that we have, but I wanted to just right up front show you one of the bigger interventions that we are proposing is an addition at the north west corner on Lispenard and 6th Avenue. In our efforts here, want to be respectful to this powerful architecture, preserving the brick verticality, the weight of the building, while also providing some opportunities for new glass, for some light to come out onto the street and life, so that it becomes less mist. This is a building that frankly, a lot of people, architects stare at, and the neighborhood all knows, but a lot of other people walk by because it is so solid. So how can we enliven it? Mackenzie Lucart, my associate, is going to get into a lot more detail on the design. But before we do that, I'm going to hand it over to Julie Rosen from Higgins Quaid Partners, our historic partners.
Thanks, Tim. Good evening, everyone. So before we get into the history, which I know you all know, but hopefully it'll teach you a few new things about the building. Before we get into that, just wanted to kind of look at the overall project from an appropriateness perspective, which is of course how we'll be presenting this to the Landmarks Preservation Commission. As Tim and Spinch noted, the creation of new retail spaces at this building, both at the ground floor and also at the second floor, is an essential part of the adaptive reuse of this building. And the design proposal does a few key things. It responds directly to the rhythm of the building, and it incorporates unique solutions to the varying architectural expressions at the lower floors. Through the reuse of the auditorium space, which again is no longer functional in its original intent, and then the outward expansion into the corner, the design is responding to the irregular street grid, much in the same way that buildings were treated historically. And the design also integrates stylistic details and proportional relationships that Ralph Walker employed not only here at 32, but also at the other telephone buildings he designed during this period. We go to the first one, thank you. So as I'm sure you are all aware, 32 Avenue of the Americas is just one of many telephone buildings that were designed by Ralph Walker in the Art Deco style in this early 1930s period. But what's interesting about 32 is that this was actually an expansion and alteration of an earlier telephone building that was on the site. And so the building that we know today has this form that reflects the history and growth of change on this particular site. So we have some historic maps on the left, historic elevations on the right, And really what this is doing is providing a summary of everything that happened on this site between 1916, when the earlier building was constructed, and then when the expansion was completed in 1932. So what happened was that 6th Avenue was cut through, creating a trapezoidal block. Church Street was widened, that compressed the block. And then the 1932 expansion by Walker that covered the full block, minus this kind of open corner space at 6th Avenue in Lispenard. And in his expansion, Walker actually incorporated the existing 1916 structure, and that's what's shown in red. And some of that is still visible today. So this building was very much designed for a single tenant, both inside and out, and it was very insular in that way. All of the uses were in service to the specific functions of AT&T and its telephone workers. And so some of the uses of the ground floor are actually shown on that plan on the right. And to access each of these spaces, you entered from the lobby. There were no access points from the exterior, and so the street level became very solid. It was designed in that way, particularly at the conference room where natural lighting was not required. And so we still see some of this 1930s planning legible on the exterior of the building, but many of those details and decisions that were employed for that original single tenant use no longer meet the needs of today's modern building. And so as we walk around the building quickly, I just wanted to point out a few things. The first is that the ground floor of each facade is articulated differently, and that's because each facade was designed to respond to different interior and exterior conditions. And kind of in a related way, while there are similarities in details and proportions throughout the building, each facade really is distinct, and the design that Marvel will be showing you in a little bit does respond to each of those individual conditions. And then the sidewalk also slopes significantly around the building, and that results in some higher granite bases at some areas of the building, like it's shown in the slide, and then a very low base at others. And so we're just starting the walk around here at the northwest corner. This is where the auditorium is. You can see, as Tim mentioned, at the base of the building is incredibly solid. There are no windows into this space. And then that really continues all the way to the mid-block portion where the main entrance to the building is. Just gonna move around. Again, we know you're familiar with the site. Just want to quickly point out here at 6th Avenue and Walker that there is one retail bay that has been built out for the 2013 master plan. That's where Starbucks is right now. And then actually 5 bays in on Walker is where you start to see that 1916 structure articulated in the masonry and then also in the differing display window typology. So continuing around, we move to the intersection of Walker Church. Again, we get to this very solid facade. This was also part of the 1916 structure. There are a number of elevator shafts that run this length, so it's very, very solid and closed off in its current condition. And then as we move around the church in Lispenard, what we see here, again, this corner becomes very solid in its current condition, and we have a lot of back of house uses on Lispenard. So that street facade is very activated right now. And I just want to pause on this slide quickly to show you a couple of details from the built out Starbucks space. So this was installed 10 years ago, and this is provided a really important baseline for both Rudin and the design team to evaluate what works and what doesn't. We'll show you some upgrades to what wasn't working so well. The essential components of the design, the metal detailing, the decorative grills, the integrated illuminated signage, enlarged masonry openings for new doors, all of these were found appropriate by LPC in 2013, and those have all been successful, and those will be retained in the current proposal. Stepping inside quickly, you may all remember that the lobby is also a landmark. And so this is where all of those interior connections were provided historically to the perimeter spaces. We are looking to utilize those connections as part of the storefront master plan update. And then a few detailed photos here, just showing you what the current bronze doors look like. And just looking at a few of Walker's other telephone buildings, what we see at 32 is that the insular nature of 32 really differed from the other telephone buildings that Walker designed. We have 3 examples here in Manhattan and Brooklyn. All of these are individual landmarks. They were all designed with much more outward-facing retail spaces integrated into the ground floor planning. And what we see are display windows grouped together, creating larger openings. There are larger expanses of glass with decorative metalwork. And ultimately, what Walker created in these examples was a much more permeable and welcoming experience at pedestrian level, and we're looking to integrate some of that character into the design for 32. On the next slide, one of the things I mentioned earlier, in the early 20th century, there were a variety of ways in which architects designed buildings to respond to the surrounding urban context and the irregular street grid. So we have just two of those examples here. On the left of the Flatiron Building with its cow catcher, which is what the glass expansion is called. That was part of the original construction. This is perhaps one of the most famous examples in the city of a building's form responding to its site. And on the right is the Western Union Building, of course, just down the street from 32. This is a particularly interesting example because Ralph Walker designed a two-story extension that followed the angled lot line along Hudson Street. And in that, he created this important architectural feature for the building on its primary facade. And we find a nice link to these examples in the design for 32. And finally, kind of coming full circle with the adaptive reuse context, there is a long history of LPC approvals for building conversions. Many of them involved the creation of new masonry openings to support the new use. A particular note are the projects on the left, One Chase Manhattan Plaza, Sarah Lehigh Building. Of course, different building types, but still buildings that underwent significant adaptive reuse campaigns and where the lower levels were redesigned for new retail use where none existed previously. And so we've approached the proposal for 32 within this kind of context and this view of adaptive reuse in the city. And with that, I will turn it over to Mackenzie to take you through the design proposal.
Thank you very much, Julie. So as I get into the design portion, this is a very detailed section and there is a lot of content because we wanted to give everything its due and pay a lot of careful attention.
This is page 24 of 94.
This is all in a sandwich.
No, I didn't, I was just, I couldn't possibly be 94.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm gonna try to go through this very quickly in
I
our
want to see
time.
what you propose.
So as mentioned before, the ground floor is very solid. Actually, just looking at the ground floor, about 82% of the surface area is solid. Again, as my colleague pointed out, it's very insular. In looking at the analysis of the building from the outside, there are a number of things to point out that do have an influence on how we approach this master plan and adaptive reuse. There's a lot of Con Ed vaulting and sidewalk grading, which limit where we can put doors, and a lot of solidity, and the activity is limited and isolated a lot towards 6th Avenue, and we are trying to distribute that more evenly and bring people around the whole space so that Church Street feels less like a back door. And then as Julie noted, there's about a 4'2" grade change across the site. The corner of Lisbonard and 6th Avenue is the lowest point. Just a diagram illustrating the rhythm of the building. This is a guiding principle for us and was often used by Walker to distribute his articulations. It's not a symmetrical building. Every facade is different, but it does have a rhythm. And so we're trying to honor that and make sure we're keeping an eye on maintaining those heavy vertical piers of brick that we see when we do introduce new buildings. Just a quick example, Julie did mention that he used this tactic of creating large openings in the ground floor often throughout his buildings. He started to do it a little bit at 32 along Walker Street with the double bay converting into a larger window at the base. But again, it wasn't a retail focused building, so he didn't distribute it throughout, but we are looking at his language as inspiration. To orient you, this is an existing floor plan, but I will note this is representative of the approved entry points in 2013, which are denoted by the small green arrows. So a lot of what we're comparing to is that 2013 master plan, which stands, and then trying to highlight where we've updated and evolved that plan, given the new retail focus and holistic approach to the building.
And this is the current lot line?
Yes. Yeah, 6th Avenue is set back.
The property.
So
Yeah,
the north, what is the
That
property
double
line?
hash line.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, this triangle is within our property line. If I'm ciphering that question.
You are.
So literally our effort is to bring color to this space and activate the streetscape, create connections, create an adaptive reuse that is viable for retail. This plan shows a possible tenant demising. Again, this is a master plan, so we don't know exactly what the demising is going to be. We're trying to plan for kind of the maximization of tenancy and have worked with real estate agents in the city to determine what the right size, fit, configuration, all the different options. In that auditorium space that we've spoken about, we are looking and considering that possibly as an anchor F&B space. So everything we're doing is kind of in light of that goal for a tenant. However, there is a possibility that it could be another use as identified and as shifts and changes. Given the grade changes, we are paying special attention to make sure that all entries will be accessible. We do have to drop the slab in certain locations to create at-grade entries, but that is a driving force for this. And we really want to reinvigorate the building with connection to the community while supporting the ecosystem of that larger building. And I'll go into more detail about a lot of these components. And then also just to point out, there is along Lisbonard a proposed expansion of the loading dock. It's a very large building with only one loading dock, so we do feel it's appropriate to give them a little bit more operational efficiency. We do include the second floor in this, primarily because much of the ground floor is ventilated through the second floor, and there's a number of existing louvers, both half height and full height. So that is part of the master plan. We intend to utilize the existing ones as much as possible. However, not knowing exactly what the tenancy is, we may need to expand those louvers into new windows, but we would match the typology. And then just the second floor, the extension that you saw in the sneak peek, we are seeking to occupy that rooftop as an amenity for the tenant in that corner. So I have comparative elevations, and again, these are the 2013 elevations, just to highlight some of the differences. Most notably, as we looked at, we are completing this master plan to encircle the entire building. Previously, the space to the left of the entry was not included at all, so that's where you see a lot of the impact. And then just looking at how we can make some updates and evolve the existing 2013 typologies to have more readily visible signage. The current signage was found to be very, very small in retail bands for increasing that scale a small bit, but as Julie said, most of the detailing, the decorative metalwork, the existing window frames, that existing windows will be maintained, and we will honor that 2013 master plan. So just to focus on 6th Avenue, you'll note there is a new entry point at the leftmost corner of 6th Avenue that supports that extension and that space. It is imperative that we have a direct street access to this space to make it a viable retail space, but the connection to the lobby will be maintained. And then just to note, we've talked about how the main entry is currently being actually under construction, being updated. We are making some minor additions to that just to make it a cohesive, holistic approach and adding some building identity signage at this entry. And I'll go into more detail with some renderings. As we turn the corner towards Walker, one thing to note is that previously, sort of mid-span, there was an entry approved in 2013. You'll note that we've shifted that over to the left one bay. This is primarily because we discovered some utilities that cannot be relocated. So we actually cannot put an entry where they previously approved. And so we've shifted it to a viable location. Additionally, looking at the prominent corner where the Starbucks currently is and looking at the optionality to increase that fenestration similar to how Walker did on other buildings to allow for a larger opening there. From about the mid-block over, within the extent of the original building, we are proposing an articulated display window similar to a bay window, and I have details of that. And this is in an effort, again, to increase the transparency without having to widen the opening, given the fact that they are actually set back because of the triangular pier. So when you're walking along that sidewalk, which is a narrower street, you actually it feels very solid and a little bit ominous as you're kind of walking around. So we really want to create movement and capture pedestrians down over to Church Street. Sorry, real quick. And you may notice that there are a couple different signage typologies that we're showing. We are looking at a sort of a two-pronged approach to signage, given that many retailers have a diverse need for signage. Some want more subtle, some want something a little bit bigger. It depends on the size of the space, whether or not they're an anchor tenant. I'll explain what that is, but we are proposing a combination of blade signs, which were previously approved, with an additional smaller raceway signage at select locations. Along Church Street is another one of the facades that is very solid in the midspan of the building, just left of the main entry. There's a lot of service elevators, so there's really not much we can do there. However, at the corner, we are introducing some modest windows adjacent to the previously approved doors that will allow for functional and viable retail. And then to the right of the Church Avenue and main building entry, we've introduced 2 new door locations from the 2013 master plan. These have been identified as a viable option for a door entry point. Based on sort of the tenant studies. And one thing that I'll note on these elevations is that the doors are our limiting factor. So what we've done on these elevations is shown the maximum possible doors just for full effect. But there is a scenario, depending on tenancy, that not all of these doors will be installed and they may instead be windows.
Are you taking out original fabric to put any of these things in? I mean, besides the brick openings, I mean, storefronts.
New storefront openings, there will be selective removal of brick and some of the granite base.
How about, is all of the storefront not original at this point, except for the main bays where you have?
The 2013 master plan retained the original sort of detailed front face of the storefront, and that will be retained, and we'll install the storefront behind in the same detail. That was approved in 2013. So that hasn't changed.
I'd love to see a picture of that in there.
I have some details.
Okay.
Just going along, Lisbonard, to make our full circle, as I mentioned in block, we're expanding the loading dock. However, we've chosen to introduce 2 smaller loading dock bays so that we can maintain that vertical pier and not break it. And then additionally, at Lisbonard in 6th Avenue corner, introducing some windows where there currently are none to support that tenancy and viable retail use.
What about these windows by the roll down gates? Are those being lowered and opened more?
So this is an option to lower to the bottom of slab. This is, I can go back to the plan if you like, but this is kind of a mid-block space that doesn't have access to a lot of light. And it's one of the, I think the only non-corner tenant locations. So in an effort to increase a little bit of visibility, we lowered down the sill here to the top of the lowest most band of the decorative.
And that window that's not expanded down today, is it an original window?
These 2?
Well, no, I'm more looking at these 2.
Yes, I believe they are original.
And then what are you proposing material-wise to put back on those bigger windows?
Here,
Yeah.
they would just be metal aluminum painted windows.
What's there now? Like something extravagant from
No.
turn of the century? No, just.
There is, just to note, so there is an existing window and louver master plan for this building.
Yep.
So all of the details would basically follow what's already been approved and what LPC has been approving for this building.
But this lowering of the water table, that's not part of that.
Correct, yes, the lowering is part of the master plan, but all of the details for the windows would match what is in the separate master plan.
BC is.
I got you. Okay,
Yep.
great.
Yep, just wanted to clarify that.
They're diminishing the architecture.
And then, so just to go through, we do have renderings, walking around the building in the same similar views that Julie showed with the existing before. So as we noted, there is an extension proposed in that underutilized space on the corner. And we took inspiration from the form and materiality of the existing building. We didn't want to historicize the pavilion, but we also didn't want to drop something so contemporary that felt alien. So the fascia is proposed to be terracotta and actually reflects some of the detailing you see at the crown, and I'll show you a picture of that in the following slides. And then we've articulated the glass and the fascia in a similar way that the triangular piers come down and touch the ground. And then continued the granite base, which is Stony Creek granite. And then also offsetting it from the edge and corner to give it a little bit of breathing room and provide a lighter touch. And
The picture looks copperish. Is it copper?
no, it's terracotta.
Oh, terracotta.
Terracotta, yes. And I have a material slide that I can show you. As we sort of move around the building, you'll note some of the fenestration changes that I noted on the elevation, as well as the diversified signage approach that we're looking at. And here you'll see that we start the articulated display windows. And the varying scales of signage that we're proposing seek to capture different perspectives effectively when you're walking along the sidewalk, when you're across the street in the park, and even further away, because there are actually very long view sheds of this building in the immediate context. And again, it's all to serve that sort of adaptive reuse of the retail base and activation. Coming along to Walker and Church, you can see the articulated display windows here. And again, that allows us to increase that transparency, bring the face of the glass out where it's currently set back. And then you'll also see that the modest windows would reflect the windows you see along Lispenard, adjacent to the entries, just to give it a little bit more breadth and transparency there. And then finally, Church and Lispenard. Here you can see the entry points that we show adjacent to the Church Street entry. You'll note that we are providing an awning here, and this is because this corner has been identified as a possible use for a separate entry point serving some of the upper floors. So we wanted to give some prominence to this entry while also giving deference to the main Church Street entry. So we provided a very slim, shallow awning here just to give it a little bit of visual contrast. And then zooming in just on the 6th Avenue entry. This is a view of the building identity signage as well as the address signage that we are proposing. The existing signage that you see along the top of the, at the bottom of the decorative grille is not original, and it's sort of uneven pin lettering. And so we want to remove that, allow the decorative metal grille to stand on its own, introduce raceway signage brought out from that metal grille. That would be about 11 feet above, and this would be the building identity, whereas the address would be on eye-level plaques on the walls of the.
So what will the building identity be?
I would direct that question to Ruth.
There are options we're considering, but we don't actually know at this time, but it could be 32 AOA, it could be something else. We don't know at the time.
Would it be for an anchor tenant?
It's a possibility. We imagine at the moment it would be kind of building identity. But we would, that could be an option.
The bottom part, that's being replaced under another permit. I can't remember what's happening.
Yeah, I can speak to that. So what you noted is some distinctive paving that we'd like to introduce at the entries to serve as a little bit more wayfinding and ground the project a little bit. So what we're introducing here is within the property line, a granite apron that is a chevron pattern, and I have another plan view of it. That reflects some of the details in the filigree you see in the decorative metalwork. And then outside the property line, that shape and that pattern continues. However, it transitions to a brushed concrete at that point, but would just sort of be a landing place and give the entry a little bit more prominence from the sidewalk perspective, given that it is surrounded by all this metal grating.
To clarify, so the doors are what was approved
Yeah.
last year. We're not proposing any changes to the doors. Those will be constructed as approved.
And then you'll also note that we're introducing some planters along 6th Avenue. And I can talk about these more in a little bit later. We would love to add more robust plantings on the sidewalk, but again, all the utility work around the building precludes us from being able to do that.
And that's not really a landmarks issue though, right? So I don't wanna get caught up.
It's within the property line, so
We have
it's,
been asked by LPC to include it in the presentation, so we wanted to make sure we presented it.
Yeah.
So what follows on the next slides, and I can go through this as quickly as you want, are several details and indexes of window typologies, door typologies, louvers, et cetera. We have sections, plans, all the fun stuff. What I will note on these two following pages is that the upper left corner is what was approved in 2013. Just as a typical window, there were more to this, but this was kind of the one you saw most. And then you can see our typologies that sort of follow that and how they compare there. Most notably, actually, I'll get into that later. So you can see the same thing with the doors, the index of different typologies, and you see these throughout on the renderings and represented on the elevations. And then the various louver types, the roll-up gates, and then the openings that will connect the existing building to our extension. One note about the louvers that I already mentioned, there's an existing louver that's been approved that is both a half height and a full height that maintains the gridded light metal work, but installs the louver behind. We're looking to just maintain that based on how the mechanical needs evolve given various tenancies.
Before you.
I don't even know what I'm looking at on that bottom one.
Yeah, what is
What's
this?
going on in there?
This is a section through the proposed pavilion at the corner. So we just wanted to show that, yeah, we're gonna provide a masonry opening.
And it's gonna be the light from the street and there.
And what's the left one?
Those,
Are you gonna do the roll down here?
yeah, those are just the roll down.
Yes.
At the,
Okay, got it. I think we all have it. It's above everyone's head here a little bit, I think.
I was gonna say, before we get caught up in details, I mean, there's the whole overall. I'm just gonna throw this out, I'm not opposed to it.
Okay, don't say that, because I know that there's some people that have strong feelings on the other side.
I know, that's why I'm getting mine
Fine.
first.
First, you don't know.
Hey.
so again, just again to give a visual comparison of 2015 versus what we're proposing to highlight a couple things. You'll note the 6-inch signage band above the doors and windows that are at constant datums throughout the building. The datum is being maintained. However, we are increasing that from a 6-inch signage band to a 10-inch. You'll see that next. And then looking at strategic locations where we may be able to lower the sill to provide a more transparent and get more light through. So looking at that here, you can see the 10-inch signage band, as well as some of the details which effectively follow the 2013 master plan. In addition, we are proposing to change the color of the storefront. It's right now a medium gray and it's all painted metal. So we are proposing to change it to a dark bronze, which has been approved for all the window replacements on the second floor and above. So we just want to really create a cohesive impact to the building overall. So that is part of this as well. And then just some zoom ins of some of the diversified openings. Here you can see the double opening, and here we've basically taken a grouping of 2 windows and expanded it in the way that Walker was known to do while still maintaining those very distinctive vertical brick piers. And then there's also a window version of it. The articulated display windows that I spoke about earlier, just looking at those. And one of the reasons that we were looking at this as well is that the Con Ed grates are covering most of this sidewalk, and it's a very unpleasant experience. So we really wanted to try to bring a little bit more light to it by bringing the active, vibrant use outside or inside to the outside. Zoom in of the awnings, and again, the 4 locations we showed on Church are the possible locations, and they would be isolated to those 4 doorways. We may not have 4, we may have 1, we may have 2. It really depends on the tenancy and the demising. We've made an effort to make it as thin as possible. At the front edge, it's only 4 inches, and it's relatively shallow, but we'll just give a little bit of contrast if this becomes a dedicated tenant entrance. Okay, so we're gonna get into the corner a little bit, because that is sort of one of the larger changes. So one of the things that we just want to consider is we are here to seek approval for the pavilion extension, and that is what we want to build. However, we acknowledge that the market changes, tendency changes, time changes, cost changes, so we're planning for the how we can activate this corner if the pavilion gets delayed for any reason, and this would be done through temporary windows that would match the details of the other typical windows that would eventually be removed and be converted into those direct openings once the pavilion is built. Then here is a plan, just looking into this corner. We will maintain the access from the historic lobby. However, we do need that direct connection for it to be viable as a retail tenant. And I will note that in that auditorium, no original fabric remains. It's been reconfigured and remodeled several times.
There's an auditorium before.
There's a conference room, and in
And it was
between
the
those two,
theater.
I'm not entirely sure, but
It was
it's,
the theater for iHeart.
yeah.
Not even before that.
It wasn't a grand theater, based on a call or something like
It
that.
was an auditorium, well, the switchboard operators were largely females and they would have
Yeah.
dance, they had like a dance floor in there for all of the employees after work to go down.
Tap dance.
Yes.
Okay,
And
next.
then I have,
So again, just to show this rendering a little bit zoomed in for you, but then also in the context of the Flatiron building we saw before, as well as the detail of what that articulated crown looks like. So we're trying to bring some of that detail down. You saw a similar notion at 60 Hudson with how he stepped the building. And we wanted to use these precedents in New York City to help us determine scale, connection, and appropriateness of this. And I already spoke about materiality, but here's some swatches for you. So again, the Vega is terracotta, which is found at the crown of the building. The storefront sticking here, we've actually saw, it looks a little bit gray here, but it's actually a little bit more of a brown coppery color that is very complementary to the brick, so that it feels a little bit more connected to the brick rather than being high contrast. We're extending the materiality of the granite base along the pavilion and using Stony Creek granite, and then introducing some details in the planters and bringing in that bronze material characteristic. Okay, sections. I won't dwell on those for you.
So can I just talk about the activation of the roof?
Oh, yes, thank you. And as I mentioned before, we are seeking to activate the roof, so there is a door being introduced at that middle bay of the sort of the three windows.
You didn't want to put a grill on that door to make it look a little bit more like a window?
I think that's something we can definitely take into consideration.
I would hope so.
Okay, keep going, keep going.
We're going.
Yep.
Get that corner,
Excellent. So
signage.
what I was talking about with signage, just to clarify this for you. So every window and door will have this sort of base integrated signage, which is that retail band. We've slightly modified it from the 2013, increasing the scale, incorporating some lighting that will wash the transoms to give a consistent lighting effect around the whole building, because there actually are very few street lamps. And it's very, very dark. And then the storefront ID about 18 inches behind the glass. So that's consistent and constant throughout. What varies is on the right column, there's group 1, group 2. Group 1 is a vertical blade in keeping with the spirit of what was approved in 2013, adjusting a little bit of the detail to fit better in with the building. We felt that the existing approved signage was a little bit clunky and we wanted to refine that articulation. And then group 2 introduces a raceway signage with a smaller retail blade just to help guide people to those spaces. So I will note that in terms of location, the raceway signage will only be located at door points. It will not be throughout the building. And then the blades will be focused around the doors, as well as smaller blades, but there may be some discrete corners where we place them just to help guide pedestrians around the corner to the door if they're coming from a distant corner. So how this is distributed is by tenant. So again, it's very much determined by door location and how the demising actually manifests itself. So basically the concept is that a tenant can choose group one versus group two, and then that is what is utilized along their frontage that they are part of. So you may see, as you saw in the renderings and the elevations, as an example, group one next to group two, or group one, group one. It may vary depending on the use. So we're trying to.
How does that not wind up looking sort of hodgepodgey?
Well, we tried to show that on the renderings to show what that might look like. And we do feel that, the family of the kit of parts all relates to each other and materialistically is all same, uses the same font. So it does align very well and feels like a complete, palette for us, and we feel it's appropriate. Especially given the scale of this building and how much the, various elevations change as you walk around. As I mentioned in the top of that signage band, we do want to introduce a small subtle uplight that will just create a little bit of consistent lighting. It'll unify that ground floor, help activate it at night, bring a little bit of light that it currently does not have. Looking to the interior, as we said, it's very important that we maintain that connection to retail at the interior. So at select doors, the plan is for one per tenant. We would like to introduce some glazing to the door that will allow a visible connection. Right now, it's very solid and you can't really tell what's going on. And we want to make sure we support the ecosystem both within the building and then out in the community. I've spoken about most of these, but this is a summary slide just looking at the additional building identity signage that we saw in the renderings. In addition, there's some subtle architectural lights that we're looking to employ, none of which attach directly to the building. There are two lights on either side attached to the metal louver that would wash the existing flagpoles that are to either side that will be maintained. And then, as I said, the planters along the piers on 6th Avenue would have integrated lighting, so it would be just one small conduit connection, but the lighting would be housed within the planter itself. Just a little bit more detail about that raceway signage. This is the existing pin lettering that's very uneven and conflicts with the existing decorative metalwork, not original. Just to look at the scale, the maximum letter size we'd be seeking is 18 inches, but depending on the number of characters, it would be proportioned accordingly within a sort of 17-foot max zone, depending on how many characters that we end up utilizing. At Church Street, we don't have the benefit of a grand sort of recessed entry point. It is much smaller, but we do want to call attention to it so that we can celebrate it because we do feel that it is an important connection to the street. So here, what we're looking to do is build upon the renovation work that was already approved and just add a couple small moves, one of which being extending the signage band to connect across the two entry points and centering that signage so it feels a little bit more unified. Right now, it's a little confusing about, am I allowed to go through this door? Do I have to go through this door? The address is off-centered. We'd be maintaining the signage plaque that is currently there. We would just match it to the one that we're utilizing on 6th Avenue. And then there are two piers on either side that we would like to continue the in-grade lighting that was approved at 6th Avenue and give those a little bit of light at night. And just a little bit more on the signage. And we're almost done, I promise. And then there's a few site elements that we've alluded to, but just wanted to highlight, that being the planters and that distinctive paving. This is a plan view showing how that is articulated a little bit more clearly for you. And then a little bit more detail on where those planters with the integrated uplights would be located at the 4 piers along 6th Avenue. And then finally, looking at introducing some architectural lighting at the crown of the building so that we can celebrate it and really highlight the wonderful details that are up there. And then as part of it too, there are 2 existing radio antenna that we would like to introduce just some integrated lighting into as well. And that concludes.
Okay.
Okay. Are the antennas functional still?
Are the what?
Are the antennas functional still?
Their functions that are currently being used.
Oh, they're not being used.
Yeah.
So what is what is the retail market these days? There's so much in Tribeca that's empty, I mean, is this all for nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're looking at a different few options that we're getting feedback from the brokerage firms. As Mackenzie mentioned, there's definitely demand for food and beverage, which is why we're really considering that corner area for that. You know, Tribeca, especially Walker Street, is becoming the center for art. So we're definitely looking at an option for maybe art galleries, you know, coffee, like we have Starbucks, but that's always a demand. So there's different options that have been presented. We don't exactly know where it's gonna go, which is why we're approaching it as a master plan. But we definitely wanna engage this beautiful building that we wanna open our doors to on the perimeter.
Can you clarify for me what's upstairs? What's in this building? Did I miss that?
Predominantly, so this building is, as I said, mixed use. After AT&T left, it still became a data building. We have multiple floors of data tenants
Right.
and also office tenants, so data and commercial.
Yeah, 40% vacant.
And it's currently, iHeartRadio was a major tenant in the building that vacated a few years ago. So yes, it is currently 40% vacant.
I'm just gonna go back to what I said earlier, which was that I'm not opposed to it because of the fact that the adaptive reuse is needed to keep historic buildings like this up and running and functioning and part of the neighborhood. I mean, I can understand maybe not wanting to pierce the base as much, but once again, you've shown a very strong case for the same architect doing the same type of thing repeatedly, and it just happened to be that this tenant needed extra security or you know, opaqueness at the ground levels, and I have walked through there a million times. It's a great building, but it is definitely not, it's foreboding. It's just not welcoming at all, so. That's my.
Who else wants to talk?
I'll talk. There are elements that I like and there are elements that I don't. I don't particularly love the addition in general. The signage, I went and I looked just for a moment to look at the retail at Rockefeller Center, which had a lot, same general era and a lot of the same features. Interesting, the signage there was all consistent in size and material. They adapted it for if a company had a particular logo or something like that, but it all looked the same. And it's also sort of not particularly obtrusive, which is actually sort of what I like about the Starbucks setup. You have their logo, but it's inside. It's not. It's not sort of in your face. The entry points and the windows, all make general sense to me. I don't love the interior doors that much, but I understand the reason for wanting to do it. That's sort of my.
Okay, Susan?
I don't love this design. I understand the need for it, but I just,
Does it change the character of the building?
absolutely, totally.
Is it a lot for 4 people that in a room to decide for the whole community whether this is appropriate
Yeah,
in this type of building?
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a sad, turnout for this.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I mean, there are people that would call me after this saying,
What
how is it possible,
Listen, I think both Jared and Gerald have made good points. I happen to agree. I went over to look at the signage at Rockefeller Center. I think there's something very hodgepodgey about this that I don't like. But most of all, what bothers me the most is opening the window for making a door and leaving it, I mean, you gotta do something. And that the restaurant, I understand the need, but the design just leaves me cold. I can't help it.
You see, I think after this presentation, it's the opposite. I want you to forgive me because I have spent all this time trying to find a better word for greed. The exuberance for the overkill of the program that this building owner has requested. It's just, it's got chutzpah. And I think that the architects have done an extraordinary good job in responding to this overkill of like, let's squeeze the life out of everything we own. And that's, so I don't know what you think about that.
I happen to know the owner, and they're an old family. And there is a statue to the grandfather in Battery Park. They have been very involved with the Conservancy. I would say that's not, I mean, they're a developer, they're a managing agent, they do all kinds of things. I would be very hesitant to say greed, that, I just want you to know that. I think it's trying to adapt everything and trying to figure out how do you make it work. I wouldn't call it greed, I just,
No, let's get off the word greed. Remember I said, I
yes,
spent the whole night trying to find a word that was exuberance in program. I find that it was like squeezing every single inch out of that ground floor and using words like, activate.
but
When
you
you
know,
activate everything,
well, I think the real issue
I think
is,
the architect did a great job.
I think that I had a very good developer I worked with for many years who would say to you, New York has cycles. The cycles are 10-year cycles. We're in 3 of a 10-year cycle of shit, pardon my language. And it will get better. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. We're just, everything's open and whatever. Those of us who are very old remember the 70s and early 80s and what happened. So I understand they're looking ahead to try to figure out how are you going to get people. I think there's a little too much lighting. I mean, I don't need to pick at all the stuff. But I think we should pick the big things that concern us and move around that. I think the vision is a great vision. And I don't have any trouble with it. And I think it will change. I think it will change. I'd like to hope so. I'll be so old it won't matter.
What's gonna change?
I think it will get better. I think that
With
there,
this,
well, I think that the storefronts, the opening it up, the making it accessible, I think that will make a difference. I walk that area all the time. I walked it today, as a matter of fact. So I think it will do something, but it's how it will do it. And that's what we're looking to do. And I think Jason's point about the community is correct.
Well, I just think it's, to Vicky's point, like, it seems like, and that's what the task was, it's like, how do we maximize as many open, it's like, it'd be nice if you came back and like pared it down like 35% on the openings.
Yes.
Just like, you basically like said, like, where in the possibility can we take the openings, even in the style of as you presented it, because like, you even present that, well, we might not get to this, but first we're gonna get to putting windows there, so it seems very well thought out. It does, for me, change the character of this fortress type building. And I also agree with Susan, as someone who walks that block constantly, you just walk past the building. There's no reason to stop because it doesn't invite you to stop.
but it's okay, the building across.
I know, I just, it's a lot for me personally. Again, I feel like to have 5 people here is like crazy to make this whole thing. So I don't even, the straw poll almost says 3-2, or where are you on this one? So that's 4-2 on a straw poll, because I'm kind of like over. So, isn't our goal to represent the community? They're not here. They didn't say anything. 2 out of the 4 people kind of don't like it, but 4 people here that are ready to listen, they like it. On another night, maybe it doesn't happen when Bruce and Roger and someone else is here, but that's just how it happened tonight.
I wanna bring up 2 other points
Yeah,
though,
okay.
before we go that far. If we go back to the proposed, that view of the, where the door was moved to the left. The two linear, yep.
It's taking store, doors.
It's a lot.
It's spot fifty, there's no doubt.
Let's go. I mean,
Yeah, for one, I just wanted to say that I think the proposed, is reading much better. What was there before seemed like a hiccup, and this actually has a linear quality to it with a definitive, points at the end of it, so well done there. The second thing that I wanted to bring up was the interior, the interior doors for the lobby. If there's any, for me personally, if there's any sticking point, that would be one of the ones that I would say no. Because that is, there was so much about the lobby that is, that was debated previously. And the way we went with that was to keep as much of the historic lobby intact as possible. And, can we go back to that slide for a minute?
that door is original?
That would be a big question.
Yep, they're original.
Skills, yeah.
And
They'll be salvaged and kept on site, they won't be.
I don't know what's happening behind the door, but the idea of them being retail tenants, I mean, I certainly don't want to jump into designing this for anybody, but I don't understand why that couldn't be kept as, say, at the end of the night, the retail tenant needs to close their door, or if it's swung open, at least they're there to stay, and then set a glass door back for them. I mean, I've seen that happen quite a bit, to keep historic fabric viewable.
Wait, the question
And
is,
function.
are you saying that, this back door, you could, let's say customers, if it's a clothing store, people could come through the lobby and
Is that
enter
the
this?
intention?
Correct.
That was the
But
intent.
it's already a door. The point is to keep the historic fabric, but still allow access in and out, I would think.
Because it changes the nature of the lobby, hello?
Right.
Right, that's what I
Right.
mean. As soon as you make it glass and open, rather than solid, it just invites people like the flea market.
But I think the idea is to bring people through the lobby. So as far as
Yeah.
the lobby is
Is that the
concerned, we
So-
want.
We
they
want
wanna-
them to
So the-
exit through the lobby,
Yeah,
perhaps
that's
on their way out.
Or to go in, around, it's to make it
I mean, you know,
open
like-
and to accessible in every way.
Right.
But Vicky, what I'm saying is definitely keep those doors.
Yeah.
No, that's what me got, I was like, oh, are
Yeah.
you saying, I didn't almost.
Keep
So
it
neither
open,
one changed
some-
the door.
I think
And all the
that's,
lighting too.
I mean, I'm just thinking, Tiffany did that for years. They have at night when they close it, it's a solid door. Most of
That's
the
the
Tiffany
best of
stores.
tools.
Well, of course. Well, who knows what's gonna be in here? But then we have a jewel too, a jewel of a lobby, a historic lobby of the neighborhood.
Okay,
I'll say, that's
Say
very,
something.
that's actually very helpful feedback, and I
Yeah.
think we struggled with what this could be. The intent was to open this building up, right? The lobby is open to the public. There is a subway stop where you could exit directly into the lobby of the building. I'm sure some of you
why
may
don't you put
sometimes.
an elevator at the subway stop? Maybe?
I don't know how the logistics of that could work, but
Make it accessible.
Because all you're doing is like.
Okay, all right.
Retail.
that was the goal, but I think we appreciate that feedback, and we could certainly think about that possibility. But the goal ultimately was to allow people to enter these spaces both from the street and from the lobby.
I mean, I think it's wonderful to be able to, I'm very fortunate right now to be, we were talking earlier, but to be working in Woolworth and be able to actually enter the lobby on a daily basis and look up and see it. And it's, I'd love to be able to do that at some of these other places.
Yeah. Well, you need a badge to get into the lobby of the building, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem.
If I want to walk into this building right now, and I'm not a tenant.
You can walk in.
Okay,
You
great.
can walk in.
That's six and
Because that's not the case in like the other Walker building, I don't think.
And I'm part of this too.
Okay, so
What do
I
we
think
do?
to advance this, because we know that it doesn't really mean much what we say in this room, but at the next level. But I think we should write positive resolution with, I would like to say just some reduction of something, some toning down of something, and then have everybody go at it at the full board meeting. I can imagine some other people having a lot of opinions about this.
I think we should tell Tammy to go first, and it's gonna take a while.
Prepare the agenda, so you'll.
Because, you know, this is just one of those buildings where like,
It's really, yes.
It's a pretty
Before
significant
COVID,
building.
there
yeah,
would have been people
absolutely.
like in this room, I think, I was there.
I think, I agree with you. I think we should do a positive
Mhm.
with our caveats, with the various
Right,
things.
it's positive because we want the building to be, you know, more porous for the people walking down those blocks. But it's negative because we noticed that you guys basically found every single square inch to put some sort of new thing, and we feel like
It's overkill.
maybe the building's characteristic is being changed too much.
Yeah.
But
And they're
Yeah.
respectful of what they did, you know, but these are our concerns.
No, I keep saying the architect's very good, and so they managed to cobble a terrifically uniform solution to an endless list of programs.
and the preservation consultant. As a preservation.
Yeah, I think it's my. Hi.
Well, no, I'm Marvel.
Okay, fine. Two great firms,
Yeah.
great firms.
Absolutely. All right.
Other questions?
So, who first? Recall.
I did.
A second.
Oh, sorry.
Your chair.
Jason, any questions online?
Any questions online? Carl, you there? Carl knows the building well. He doesn't want to- Okay, that's it. So all in favor?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Everyone, okay. Positive resolution, Jason, Darren,
Yes.
Sure.
Vicky,
I know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
and we're all in one Vicky in the room.
No,
We're gonna add, we're gonna have a lot of caveats.
Yes.
And Karen's in
Right.
caveats.
I'm gonna check.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, no, I didn't, not Karen,
Susan,
What?
yes, no?
Yes, 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 yes.
Gerald,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So meeting adjourned?
Yes.
Second.
Yeah.
We have a second, thank you guys.
Mackenzie, Dr.
Oh, yeah. Andrea, I have a question.
Yeah.
After you, but not about this at all.
That's it.
Well, let me start.
Thanks, guys.